$1 million. $1 million. $1 million.
We are, I mean, we've been recording the entire time, but this won't necessarily be the beginning of the, I mean, it could be. We could just have it as outtakes. I am once again back in sunny Miami with Chatstar, and there is a lot of exciting stuff going on. We've got a lot to talk about. So, first of all, this man is cracked. He's running 3 different agencies, one of which is the 3rd largest chatting agency in the world, his namesake, Chatstar. And without breaking down too many details, you're pulling down a little bit over 11 million a month across the OnlyFans businesses.
Something like that, yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's pretty gross.
That's, for those of you counting at home, that is over $120 million a year, which is an insane accomplishment in this business. So, first of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you. I don't take compliments too well.
It's okay.
Couldn't tell.
Is that why you're wearing the mask? Because you're shy?
No, this is a BDSM getup. People seem to love it on your channel.
Yeah, they do. I'm sure that's why I have a following.
Why do you, before we get into anything, why do you think the disdain for the mask so much?
The disdain for the mask only comes from the general public, is what I've noticed. So like on my Soft White Underbelly interview, people don't like, I think obscuring your face sort of like almost necessarily, there's an untrustworthiness that comes with that, or like a suspicion that comes with that because it's such an essential part of your identity. So I think people react negatively for that reason. But I think when you couple that with like, we're giving that, well, for the general public, when you couple that with what we do, it's obviously terrible. But on the personal branding side, I think people, like fans, actually enjoy it. I guess otherwise they wouldn't be fans. So it's interesting how it can be like a key component of my brand that people connect with and like come to like, but also a normal person would look at me and think that I'm repulsive. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not here to change minds.
Yeah. We're here to talk about OnlyFans, the most important thing in the world. So our conversation today is going to be about 2 things. First, we're going to talk all things chatting, because again, this guy is raking in about $11 million a month because he's just that fucking good at chatting. So I want to know, what it takes to run a chatting agency of that size, what makes a great chat operation for maybe an agency that's running their own internal processes, your kind of approach to that, your philosophy on chatting, and where you go next from number 3 in the world in terms of revenue of OnlyFans agencies. And then the second thing is Chatstar and I we kind of put our brains together. We've been working on something that is desperately needed in the OnlyFans business over the last couple of weeks. I think this is a complete game changer for both agencies and creators, and we're going to talk about that later in the conversation, so make sure that you stick around. For just to start off, give us a little bit of backstory for maybe people who haven't watched our previous conversations. What were you doing before OFM? How long have you been in the business? How did you get introduced to it?
Yeah, I always kind of want a lot of the information I sort of had in the first interview is now outdated, and that tends to happen in this business, or in almost every business.
Just moves quick.
My career has spanned it across like 2 or 3 different domains, but I guess the main thing I was doing before this was videography. I was a traveling photographer, videographer, artist, basically.
Very
and I thought for the majority of my life, that's what I would do until COVID, when this sort of fell in my lap, ironically. And then, I didn't necessarily go out with the expectation of, being number 3 on the platform on one of the, inflow accounts that I run, which is essentially just the CRM that we use to house a lot of the pages. I certainly didn't set out to, be responsible for $120 million worth of merchandise, or whatever you want to call it.
In your defense, I don't think anyone gets into anything and expects to be one of the best in the world at it. With it, how long have you been doing OFM?
Like 6 years.
Within 6 years. I mean, the industry is barely that old, so it's just like, becoming the 3rd best in the world at anything, or like just in that upper echelon of anything that has as many participants. And we're talking about a $7.2 billion a year industry.
Well, just so people know as well, I'm not sure if those numbers actually warrant the number 3 rank. I'm sure there are some big players out there that are using other CRMs or whatever. But just on the CRM that we're using, those are the rankings.
You're too humble. You're too humble.
Well, I'm not too humble. I definitely, I want to be number 1, and that's where things are headed.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, my intention wasn't to do this, right? I don't think anybody goes and thinks, yeah, I'm just gonna hire thousands of people and raise my blood pressure and like lose like relationships and friends and all this other crazy shit because I'm so hyper focused on building this business and trying to be successful.
Sure.
You know? But it's sort of an act of happenstance, you know what I mean? It just sort of happened. And then in terms of being one of the best in the world, again, humbly, if you can say it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to. I don't think anyone can blame you.
It's a weird thing to be bragging about, you know? And honestly, this is why we're doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Either way, you know, my OnlyFans journey sort of started from an agency perspective. I wanted to like manage my own models. I just realized like we were terrible at marketing. And it was also like, and it's fucking impossible, right? It's extremely difficult to do marketing, at least at scale and what I thought back then.
Yeah,
right?
well, you're coming from a creative background, so I think naturally, like this is my perspective too, is you want to create good content. It's very difficult to create. What people want in business is scalable, replicable systems, and creative doesn't really work like that.
Right.
You can have a system for generating good creative, but all good creative sort of by nature is new stuff. Like you want to be kind of establishing your own style and doing things in a different way. And that isn't really compatible with like, I want to build a machine. If that
Well, it's
makes
so
sense.
funny that you say that because the way that you think of good marketing is good content production.
Right.
And I don't think that's congruent with a ton of agencies or a ton of people that get into this industry.
Definitely not.
And maybe your audience is more accustomed to that line of thinking. But when I got into the industry, the way that I thought about marketing was some for sub networks, black hat operations, Tinder bots, Twitter groups,
Yeah.
hacky black hat things that essentially
Dating apps.
dating app. Exactly.
Yeah. That era of OFM was a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, it was impossible to do both. It was impossible to have a really elite chat, which is kind of the bedrock of the entire operation because, you know, you could be pumping in thousands of fans, but you're technically losing thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars if you don't have that down.
Yeah.
And I was always great at explaining things to chatters, managing chatters, picking who's the best talent, putting them in charge, you know, also, you know, in a proverbial sense, putting my foot on their neck.
Sure.
Like there's good pressure, there's bad pressure. I've always teetered the line and think I've been good at putting good pressure on people.
Yeah.
You know, praise when need be, sort of fear or whatever, sort of, you know what I mean?
But you never expected to like have to be that guy. Those are like skills that you
Right,
develop.
it just happened. But the thing is I couldn't balance both. Even though I had partners, like we couldn't find that dynamic of like, okay, well, do we focus on the marketing and try to crack that? As soon as we crack it, okay, something changes.
Yep.
And then do we focus on this? And then I just kind of got an opportunity to chat for someone else. And I just repurposed my staff. And then they crushed it, you know? They literally took that page, 5x'd it, next page, 5x'd it. And so this was like early age. I think it was the hot new girl on the block for like quite a while there.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So that's sort of like the chatting agency foundation and background.
And the economics back then were probably a lot better too.
In terms of margin, yes.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we were charging, I mean, we were doing like anywhere from 13 to 15 of tips and messages, which is just not possible.
Right.
It's possible to do when I'm managing the entire operation and I just have chatters.
Yeah, but then you're just like in the black basically.
Exactly. And I'm paying my staff like base level, like survival level stuff. Like right now, one of my employees just bought like a boat and like 2 plots of land and a bunch of cars and things like that. Like I've made people rich now.
Yeah.
As a result of growing with me and helping, you know, me and my partners and my companies grow, you know? But yeah, I sort of, you know, we sort of just like inevitably happened to drop half the business and just focused on the half that we were really good at, right?
Which is chatting.
Which was chatting,
Yeah.
right? And we had a different approach to it back then that seemed to be working really well. It was a lot more humanistic relationship building. A ton of people were kind of sex bot spamming
Sure.
conversations. We tended to build more parasocial relationships. And that seemed to be functional in terms of sales, like extremely functional. Also, it was coming out of left field. Like nobody was really talking like we were on the platform. And so to a fan, to a subscriber, I mean, it was completely different than what the rest of the industry was doing. Right?
And this is all like industry standard stuff now. But when back
it is, but I'll get to it where it's also changing back again.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about that. Well, you know what? Hold on.
Okay.
Let's get into that later. What I actually want to start the conversation with is something a little bit different.
Sure.
Before we get into the specifics of chatting and the OnlyFans business in particular, you've built a company that prints. You've hit the 8-figure monthly and 9-figure annually checkpoint, right? That's a big hurdle. And that's like it's a footprint. It's a serious footprint, right? You're 10% of the way, 12% of the way to being $1 billion a year organization. So that's a gigantic accomplishment. What are the general like life lessons or general business lessons? Maybe not necessarily like that apply strictly to OnlyFans, but just like, you know, is it all about networking? Is it about focus? What are the 3 maybe core things that you learned that are not necessarily specific to OnlyFans that maybe have gotten you to that point?
Oh God, it's nothing against you. But
Sure.
I sort of in general kind of hate that line of questioning.
Sure.
And it's only because every lesson that exists that I can regurgitate right now has already been said by mostly everybody else out there. And B, it's nothing, I mean, yes, it's nothing new, but I also think that like for the large masses of the population that are going to listen to this, the only way that you're actually going to learn those lessons is by experiencing them. Right?
So that's kind of the next like thing that I wanted to talk about.
Right.
So that's like why I asked the question, I guess.
Well, I will tell you, like on a base level, do right by people, right? Like even if it slows down your progress. And my philosophy on that is that you would probably get further quicker if you simply focused entirely on yourself and cut things out sooner, maybe even like stomped a few people on your way, lied, maybe cheated, stole a few times.
Yeah.
It's honestly, depending on who you are as a person, it's probably honestly easier to do that, right?
Sure.
But if you take the harder way around and maybe you take a little bit of, and I'm sure a lot of like hard entrepreneurial people don't agree with me on this, but if you take the harder, less scammy way around, which I think topic 2 of our large scale conversation this will tie in very well.
For sure.
Then longevity will pay off, right? So I'm still here. I've been in it for 6 years. There's other players that have been in it for 6 years and are doing well, but I've also seen people get absolutely smoked.
Just washed out.
That.
Yeah.
Completely washed out.
Yeah.
Reputation gone.
Yeah.
You know, models don't like them anymore. They burn out on the industry. Whatever.
And it's like it's a small enough industry that your reputation actually matters quite a bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
So my one general thing, I guess, to answer your question that I hate so much.
Fuck you too, pal.
To answer your fucking stupid question is, I don't know, be somewhat of a good person. Like do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, especially to your models and your partners and whatever. There's already enough carbon, dioxide being pushed into the universe from this type of work anyway. You might as well offset it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pay the carbon tax.
Exactly.
Yeah, the reason I ask is something that I've been thinking about lately, just like in the context, I guess, of education, is the concept of learning from the mistakes that other people make, as opposed to like kind of the mistakes that you kind of have to make yourself, like you were describing, right? Like I can look at somebody run headfirst into a brick wall and split his head open and get a concussion or whatever, and I can say like with a pretty high degree of confidence, like, yeah, I don't need to try that, right? I don't think he got any utility out of that experience. But I also think, and again, this is especially true in business, that there are mistakes that you kind of have to make yourself, because so much of business and like a life in general is contextual. And there are times when somebody else's failure doesn't necessarily mean that it was the wrong thing to do. It means maybe they did it in the wrong way or at the wrong time or something like that. So what I'd like to ask, as somebody who's made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot over the last 6 years, is like, what are the two good mistakes, the mistakes that you made that you kind of feel like you had to learn from, to like you had to make them to learn from them? And then what are the two maybe like bad mistakes that were basically totally avoidable, that you didn't have to make yourself, that you can maybe share with the audience, so that you can at least say like, hey, I ran into this brick wall head first. You don't need to.
Are you talking about chat in specific? Or are you talking
chat and business, like just yeah, whatever comes up to the top of your head.
So,
You probably noticed that social media has gotten a lot harder. You probably think this is because platforms are anti-OnlyFans, or you're creating accounts wrong, or something about your link in bio is killing your reach. But I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart that you're not failing for any of these reasons. You're failing because you fucking suck at making content. Yes, back in the glory days, you could spam the same thirst traps and trending audio as every other e-thought on the internet and get millions of views. But those days are over, and they are never coming back. If you want to be successful on socials today, you need an actual brand, and you need good content. And both of those things take time, skill, and most importantly, a coherent system. Now, you can build the system the hard way, like I did. Thousands of hours of research, over 1 million words of scripts written, and years of trial and error to figure out what actually works. Or you can skip the years of mistakes and just use my exact system, which has brought multiple models from 0 to the top 0.01% and generated billions of views and over $10 million in revenue for my consulting clients. That system is called $1 Million Brands, and it teaches you everything about organic social from start to finish: how to build performant brands, make content people actually want to watch, and turn followers into subscribers with LTV so high you will be gooning. I could rattle off everything that's in the course: video modules, tools, a community that includes multiple top 10 OFM agencies. I could tell you that there are students who see 40% revenue growth within 30 days of finishing. But I'd encourage you to check it out for yourself at facelessfrancis.com instead. Or you can keep posting dog shit, blame the algorithm, and watch other people make millions of dollars from your cell in 200 view jail. Your call.
in chat in general, I always found, and actually I didn't come up with this, somebody else told me it, but then I realized I had done the same thing. So they kind of explained to me that the more you try to complicate things, it kind of goes in a wheel, right? So like you'll have a functional, good system, and all you need to do to foster that is like increase your training, hire better people, and do more of the same thing. Maybe innovate a little bit, but like keep the basics, right?
Yep.
And then I realized that like, okay, now especially with the, AI and all this other stuff, and, even back in the day, I was hiring people to build out CRMs and do software and blah, blah, blah. I just started going down this road. And at a certain point, I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's helping. I see it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like now it's not so cool. Now it's starting to like hurt more than help. And then, okay, people are now getting lazy as a result of this.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here we are back right where we started.
Right.
Cut all of this other shit out.
Yeah.
And then we end up right where we started with the basics. We end right at the basics, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably on like the, not sure if that's what were the two things again? Just
Good mistake, like mistake that you feel like you had to make it
right
in order to figure
so that's
it out.
something that I needed to do.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go down that road, those are still valuable skills that I learned along the way.
100%.
They just didn't work out.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a really healthy way to look at it. Like that's kind of what you, I think in particular, have kind of an optimist. You're insightful about this kind of thing. And yeah, I think that it's essential as a business person to like kind of enjoy your mistakes in some way.
Right.
Because like you don't understand, you learn so much in the process of making them. Like you learned probably 10 different things that were useful later in your career or in other domains from that experience. But like if someone had just told you like, don't do that, A, you probably wouldn't have listened to them. And B, then you wouldn't have learned any of that other shit.
Right. Another mistake that I think I needed to experience specifically in chat. So that's more of a business mistake.
Yeah.
In chat is, this is also a business mistake, but specifically it applies so much to chat because it's a personnel thing, right? So I think I'm a very loyal person. I tend to give people always the benefit of the doubt. And I've probably stuck with people, which also leads to my bad mistake, right? So it's the same quality. This is with me and as a person, right? So I kind of like, I would see that somebody's kind of like fucking up and like not really like, I try to find the best in them, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give them another shot. I'll give them more training. I'll give them this. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a you either have it or you don't type thing. I think that's something that I also needed to figure out because again, I was way too optimistic about people.
Yes.
And their innate capabilities. Now, some people will surprise you, but it's rare at best. And people do go through periods, you know.
Volatility. Humans are just volatile by nature in some respect.
Exactly. But if somebody is like actively harming your organization, which in this business has the detriment of losing money, but also losing a client and harming your reputation, especially because clients move in droves.
Right.
You lose one, you lose 10.
Yeah.
You gain one, you gain 10.
Like if one of your chatters like leaks nudes or does something atrocious like that, then it's just like you, even though you had no part in making that decision, like you are culpable for it because you employed him.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that I also needed to sort of figure out. And that's just a result of me being a boss and a business owner for the first time and having staff and personnel.
Yeah.
And treating them more as like my friends rather than my direct employees.
Yeah.
Which is not a great thing.
No, definitely not. That's a lesson I've had to learn too.
Yep. And so I think that's something that you could have told me, but I wouldn't have had the heart to probably execute on unless I saw it for myself,
right?
You know, and got angry enough to make sure it never happens again.
Yeah.
Now, the one glaring thing that I feel like I should have just listened were, I certainly let people, and this is my anecdote, right? But I let people in business, right? I partnered with people, I let people have too much, and then I believed in them as just like an entity, or I believe the aura or like the other flashy shit that came with their presence or their notoriety or whatever. And then I wasn't actually waking up to who and what they are and what they're doing, you know?
You were just like paying attention to sort of the signaling.
Yes, so exactly. So I was essentially like allowing other people to leech and mooch off of me, which is sort of why I mean, just so the audience knows, right? Like it's taken me 5 years to make a significant dollar in this industry, and now I'm number 3.
Right.
Pushing number 2, right?
So these were expensive lessons.
These were disgustingly expensive lessons, like lessons that like makes me sick to my stomach, right? And these people really, you know, they never got justice. I wish I had just listened to others around me say, hey, these are not good people.
Yeah.
Avoid them.
Yeah.
Get away from them.
That's a good, that's a good one. I think it because if people, how often does it happen that someone tries to like damage someone's reputation because they did nothing at all?
Right.
Never, right? Like, even if, you know, like, and you can get to the bottom of some things, but there are people in this industry. There's people in this industry that I've even just had like phone calls with, and I'm like, it makes my skin crawl. It's like something's wrong. Like there's something that's so obviously wrong with you. Like you're registering is almost like not quite human. Like you're like I don't know. It's a strange. You get a sixth sense about or like I luckily have a very like I'm very sensitive to that kind of thing. And so
Mr. Sensitive, all right.
I'm an extremely
I've gotten to know you real well.
I'm a sensitive young man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if someone's I think that's just a good like something to take away, especially in this business. If someone tells you that someone is a scumbag or that they fucked them over in some way, at the very least, ask a few other people what they think of that person, because again, this industry is so small that like generally speaking, if you fuck somebody over even one time, other people will know about it because people will sort of like blast it out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and it's like that's an important that's an important bad mistake, like a mistake you didn't actually have to make, to recognize it as such, because that can potentially be the most damaging mistake.
And in my experience, it certainly was.
Yeah.
Like I think my progress has been significantly stilted by just not being around the best.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's sort of like helping them more than helping myself, which sort of contradicts what I said earlier about doing the right thing and whatever.
But doing the right thing doesn't mean falling on the sword.
Exactly.
It just means taking care of people.
You literally took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, those are both really good. Let's switch the conversation over to chatting. So, explain just really quickly in brief. More people, more like non-OF people are starting to watch these. I'm not really catering to that audience, but I still kind of want to throw something in there. Yeah, hi normies. God bless you. What does a chat agency actually do? Who are your customers? And why is the service that you provide necessary, or why is there demand for it?
Yeah, we're a sales team
Okay.
at the end of the day. I own a sales company. And with the amount of volume we're handling, especially due to the nature of how we go about getting the sales, you do need a dedicated, full-blown 24/7 team.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm breaking anybody's neck and telling the world that this exists.
Right.
No,
I mean, yeah,
if I am, then I wouldn't be making any money.
yeah, exactly.
And so
It's a known quantity at this point.
It's a responsibility to the user at this point to do their own research. I mean, yes, I'm wearing a mask, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
to your face.
Yeah. Like if you're on OnlyFans.
Right. In fact, I'll even tell you, don't do it. Don't spend money on this.
Yes.
Good
Good advice. That's another
Right.
man, you're just dropping knowledge bombs.
No. I mean, I'm cool with saying that because it's gonna happen anyway.
100%.
And I don't necessarily feel like I am responsible for that.
Right.
People are gonna gamble or whatever. I mean, whatever. We can get into the morality of things later.
So you're a sales team.
Bottom line, we're a sales team, and there's an inherent need for it because there's essentially only one of me or only one of the model. Let's say it's just me and a model, right? Mm-hmm. I can only communicate with her customers so much. She can only communicate with them so much. Other areas of the business need to be focused on, like the content creation and the marketing and the traveling and whatever else is involved, right?
Yeah.
And so in order for this to run optimally, you need to build a team. There's a huge demand for maximization on the back end. Mm-hmm. The amount of money that you can make on your own, or just you and your boyfriend or whatever, like let's say you're a model or whatever setup you got, right? If I put a full stack sales team behind your operation with 24/7, management, customer support, content uploading and organization, copywriting, strategy, and then also telling you what specifically the page needs, telling you where the fans are, demographically speaking, socioeconomically speaking.
Yeah.
We know how to target what they need, how we want to sell to them. These are things that you need kind of a gangster like me to basically
get in there
put
and fuck
some
shit
killers
up.
in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is in every industry, right? Like door-to-door sales, you need killers.
You need to do killers, yeah.
So
You can't half-ass door-to-door. You can't half-ass cold call. Like any kind of cold outreach, you just can't.
Yeah.
You have to just be 100% all in.
So that's in the gist of what my company does.
Yeah.
I think
Got it.
that's pretty roundabout explanation.
So just for clarity, the deal is basically you have like an agency or you have a creator that wants to focus more on marketing. You want to focus more on acquisition or some other element of the business. And they don't have the capacity to keep chat internal, or maybe they're just not very good at chatting. And they believe that even with you taking a piece of the business, that you would net them more revenue in the long run. That's the gist of it.
Now, I'm biased, obviously, because my business is dependent on me telling you need me, okay? But I did it.
Right.
I tried to do it all in-house.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why the fuck would I pay this other dumbo over here when I know everything that's going on?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I was a chatter, right? And I feel like most people never really chat like that. Like I that's what I did for 6 months.
Yeah.
In fact, I was in college back then, or in a college town, and I was going out to bars and clubs, sexting with dudes on my phone, getting $200 unlocks. No, it's
Paying,
fun.
hey, I got round for everybody.
It's actually messed up, right?
That's hysterical.
It was a thing too around town, and so I know what it's like. I know how hard it is. I know the ups and downs. I know what sales are like. I know what it's like to get a huge day. I know what it's like to have a really bad day, and how draining it is.
Yeah.
And also there's another completely, different component of this, which is what you're staring at is inherently probably putting holes in your brain. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And so, you know, all the chatters that work for me, by the way, I feel your pain. I get you, but you guys are making a lot of money. So,
You're the real heroes.
yeah. And
We salute you, Chatstar chatters.
yeah, so you know, I can tell you with a certain amount of like gusto and balls out here that I am better than you. And you're, in my opinion, if you're like a smaller agency or even if you're a big agency, I guarantee you cannot build a better sales team than me.
Yeah. Makes sense.
With an almost, like I'll call it a 98 to 99% certainty. There's way too many strategies that I have that you don't have.
You've got 6 years of experience managing one of the largest chat
Expensive
organizations
staff.
in the world.
Yeah, I have expensive staff, which you can't afford on a small scale, because if you have a bunch of girls doing 10K, you can't afford even one of my chatters.
Right.
And I have dozens of them.
Right.
Right. Who all work as a team and they trade ideas. There's a constant back check of things that we're doing and not doing on pages. There's note taking. There's
It's like it's a business in and of itself.
I mean, it's a full enterprise. It's literally a car engine, right?
Yeah.
There's 1,000 moving different components all at the same time. With my scale, especially, one of the biggest superpowers is that I can staff or unstaff pages extremely quickly. So if traffic ever comes up, there's no latency in how well the page is handled.
Right.
The quality of the service, let's just say that you believe that I don't care as much about your page as you care about your page. And sure, you yourself could probably do better as a chatter. Okay, just do it, first of all. But when you realize that you can't, right, then you'd be willing to give off that like 5% shave off on the fact that you're letting somebody else who doesn't care as much realistically, you'd be willing to shave that 5% in quality for the fact that like we are so much faster, so much better at communicating, so organized on the back end that we will take your page and wring it as dry as possible 24/7 forever, for as long as you have it. You might do it for 12 hours and then you got to sleep, or you might do it for 6 months and then you're going to want to, you know what I mean? So come to daddy is what I'm saying.
I think that's a perfectly valid explanation. So I guess the natural next question that sort of comes from that is, why are you so much better at chatting than other OnlyFans agencies? Like you're number 3 in the world, so like you're doing something, right? Something that other people presumably don't. You explained what some of those things are, as far as like having higher quality chatters, like just Eastern European versus like Filipino. We can kind of get into the distinction there maybe later on. But at a high level, very high level, you don't have to get super nitty gritty. I'm not asking for tactics here. What are the top 3 things that you think distinguish you, that make you guys so great at chatting, that differentiate you from other agencies and other chat agencies even?
Are you asking me to compete right now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the top dogs are all good. Okay, I don't want to make a business for myself by putting other businesses down. So if you're anywhere in that, usually the top 10-ish on these CRMs, they're all chatting agencies. Yeah, they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
We all use the same stuff. They kind of know what's going on, right? You know, that's for the most part. Like there's like incremental 1 or 2% differences that distinguish us.
Sure.
Right. But I think for as long as I've been doing it, I started out. So in our last interview, I was talking about Philippines. And again, there's nothing wrong with Philippines. I think for the most part, the difficulty with the Philippines is like some of the cultural things don't translate as well.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the culture is like much more passive. Yeah. Much more oriented towards like customer service type jobs. I said earlier, in this job, you kind of need to be mean. Like you need to be a killer. Yeah. And so it's difficult to like punch that into somebody. Now, we have extremely good training material now, but we have also sort of expanded outside of that country into other countries that are better at handling that, at least culturally, right? Got it. But I think the one thing that has sort of changed the game is because I could say like South Africa, I could say Colombia, I could say any other country where you hire, I could say America, right? And I have hired people from America. And they're not better than some of the people that we have right now. And realistically, we've changed our whole outlook. It's no longer geographical. It's really like who's the best person for the job. Sure. And so that focusing.
You know, that's something that's something I'm definitely curious about that we'll get into later, because I do think that there's a, like, people talk about Filipino chatters as a monolith, or Eastern European chatters as though they're like one distinct, like, contiguous entity, as opposed to you're hiring an individual ultimately.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that links and like maybe sets up operations because it's easier to organize, also time zones and blah blah blah.
For sure.
But the reality is if you're top, I don't know, 10, 20, I mean, we have like over 40, 50 people in upper management right now. If let's say the top 5 of those, this guy happens to be from the UK, that guy happens to be from Serbia, 2 of them, he hires 2 of his friends from another company, they're from Serbia, and then we still have the Filipino girl, and then the Irish guy or whatever.
Yeah.
If we have that set up, then it's kind of natural that it's going to kind of trickle down from them.
Sure.
Right? And it's mostly due to like cultural and friendship, relationships. I mean, a lot of our hiring nowadays is done purely through referrals.
Got it.
We don't really tend to go blast ads and billboards out there and say, hey,
You're not on Indeed.
right. But truly it's the staff that sort of distinguishes us. And the one way I can really explain that is like, and again, I'm not saying anybody else has bad staff. I believe in my staff, right?
Yeah.
So that's a bias thing that I have to show you instead of tell you.
Got it.
Here's one thing that I can tell you that's going to make, I think, a lot of sense to a lot of people. So as long as we've been in the industry, the strategy has always been hire from this place and then do the relationship building. That's been our training, right? And the relationship building component of sales on this platform is more on like have the conversation, then go for the sale, then thank them after in some way. Nowadays, that's not as effective. Nowadays, I think a lot of people know that this is going on. So it's better to just go for the sale at first, right?
Test you're not trying to keep them around for as long. You're trying to hit hard.
Yeah. Go for the sale, test the waters, and then build the relationship after. Now, I think what a lot of other agencies are missing, because they didn't necessarily start here, or maybe they did, but they didn't get the true component of this, is they don't have this at the end. They don't tack this in at the end. So it's just the sales part.
Got it.
Which kind of takes a huge component away from the entire experience. I mean, even if I know that this is like fake, right?
I'm paying you to be here. You don't actually want to be having this conversation.
No, not this. The gesture was whatever. If I, you get what I mean. If I know that my experience of chatting with this OnlyFans model is fake, but I'm still curious enough to spend a lot of money through whatever game or strategy you're utilizing on the background, then at the end, I'd like a little high five about, dropping, half a...
I'd say it's well deserved.
You know what I mean? Give me something, like give me a free something. Like, I don't know, ask me about something that you're going to tie in later. Ask me when my birthday is so that on my birthday you can send me a free video.
Because you're telling a story. Like that's the point, is you're telling a story. And the stories don't usually end like halfway through a page. Like you have to complete the story.
And then, but there's also, like, think about it from a customer service perspective. I think there was an anecdote about... I forget where I saw this. Maybe it was some TikTok or something, but they were talking about some guy was talking about the dog food delivery service, right? And then they were saying like dogs inevitably tend to pass away.
Yes, they do. They do be doing that.
This is a very morbid analogy, but dogs inevitably tend to pass away. So then you get a bag in the mail when your dog has passed away. You feel the worst you've ever felt. You're like, oh no, Sparky's gone, and now I have 50 pounds of like kibble, and so what they do is when you go to cancel your membership, they refund you the bag, and then they send you a free bouquet of flowers with the dog's name.
That's very nice.
Whatever. So that's not, you're not talking to
the
CEO of whatever company this is. But it's a nice gesture, and
it's
then
a beautiful
you
gesture,
are more likely when you get a new dog to go and use this service again, because they took the time out of their day to make your grief or even your like the amount of money that you spent up until this point to make it kind of like to make the gesture, right?
Yes.
So that's a lot of what we tend to do.
Got it.
For customers, right? Now, that's only one component. We are, I would say, relatively sophisticated in terms of some tracking things on conversions in the chat alone. It's a very manual process, and I don't do it on a large scale, but I tinker with things constantly. And so I generally tend to know, like, I can categorize pages into different, subsects, and I can more or less tell what would work well on them. So I would say I'm the type of company that if I get a page and your page has been ran by X person, Y person, Z person,
Yeah.
it's never going to drop with me because I know how to handle those pages. And in the best case scenario, it might increase.
Got it.
Right? With just chatting alone.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I've gotten really, really good at that. And then the thing that ties it all together is, and again, what I said earlier, this not like either this or that. It's actually like a sliding scale, right? So sometimes we'll go more relationshipy, other times we'll go more aggressive. It's always configurable.
Yeah.
And it's also configurable based on how the model wants to be represented, which leads into my last component of what makes us so robust and
You're special.
Sure.
You're special. You're a special little boy.
Well, can't be here if you're not, right? This is what it's all
Living the
about.
high life.
No, but jokes aside, like, communication is something that I am such a huge proponent of. I created an entire 24/7 customer service department of my entire business. You get to talk to all of my managers that are only working on your page or your agency's pages. There's a dedicated person who's like a chief strategist for those pages. There's a dedicated person who does all the copywriting, dedicated person that does all the uploading and organization, dedicated managers 24/7 around the clock who can relay your word back to the chatters straight away.
Got it.
I have had people who like monitor their pages. This doesn't happen too often, but they catch something that we don't catch for whatever reason, and they're like, who's this person on my page? We'll back read, this happened 4 days ago, some chat somewhere, and the chatter snuck something in there that wasn't quite, kosher.
Kosher, sure.
And then we'll remove that chatter from the page, we'll put another one on.
Got it.
Like immediately.
So it's just instant response.
Instant.
Yeah.
Right? And that type of back and forth communication, it builds trust, A, and then B, it allows the model to not feel stuck. Like, they're my employees, but they're your team.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that makes us extremely unique. I really don't know. All of the other guys are big and some are way bigger, but I really don't know how many have as crazy. And my margins are lower because of this, by the way.
That's going to be the next topic.
Yeah.
As we get to talk about your bullshit margins.
They are.
I know you're really excited.
They're
to talk
not
about
as
that.
cool. They're not as cool as a lot of people.
So let's talk about scale. How many creators or agencies do you currently have on board? How large is the organization in terms of employees?
Okay, so since last we spoke, we really haven't onboarded that many newer agencies.
Okay.
In fact, we're right at about the same. I think I was somewhere in the teens when we first spoke. I can't remember if I gave a number or not.
I don't know. You're right.
It's not that many. Basically, a few big ones and then a few much smaller ones.
Sure.
The biggest agencies that are serviced by our company are me and my business partners.
Got it.
And so essentially right now, I mean, again, we can talk about this in a second, but having the background that I have, realizing the thing about marketing that I realized, having the experience of working with other bigger agencies and seeing what they were doing or were not doing, for the most part, actually, and then kind of like back engineering what you can actually do.
Sure.
Now we're in the business as a whole.
Yeah.
You actually stand to gain a lot more from working with us if you're a large agency, because then we won't try to take your models.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Makes sense to me. So that's teens as far as agencies go. How many total creators are you chatting for right now?
I mean, I think my footprint, obviously I don't own 100% of everything in every company that I own, but my overall footprint is about 350 people, creators,
Massive.
I would say.
Damn.
I mean, more pages than that, but free, paid. all
Right,
that.
you got that's 350 creators, some of whom are going to have both free and paid
Right, I
pages.
can't give you an exact number.
Sure.
Not off the top of
Yeah,
my head.
yeah. That makes sense. I mean, you're talking about and you guys are onboarding new creators all the time and offboarding, so it's never going to be exact.
Right.
How And then how large are you in terms of employees?
So we've actually, we're not much bigger than last time. In fact, we're probably slightly leaner. I would say net total of close to, I think I had over 1,000 people last time. Now it's like closer to like 700-800.
Oh, so you've made some pretty substantial cutbacks.
Yeah, but you know, when you hire the right person, they're usually worth 2 or 3.
Sure.
And I don't mean to speak about human life that way, but I'm
you were
talking about
cutting the chaff.
well, the work itself.
Yeah.
You know, one person can handle twice the amount of work.
Yeah.
That another one can.
Sure.
It's a skill thing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, we probably could be running a bit leaner, but we have so much management. And I thoroughly believe in overstaffing the management, just simply from a quality standpoint.
Sure.
Because onboarding and scaling horizontally is largely to a huge detriment in quality,
Sure.
right? And the way you maintain that quality is by overstaffing management, getting them really up to par, and then leaving room for growth in their capacity.
Sure.
Because they're the people that are going to carry the larger weight, you know?
Yeah.
And so, in that sense, our capacity is much larger, and then, you know, A, for onboarding and scaling, and B, for also just like quality, you know? So yeah, that's where we're hovering right now.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
I plan on expanding staff probably slower, and then expanding in terms of size quicker, if that makes any sense to people.
I think that does make sense, and that kind of leads into my next question, which is, we haven't known each other for that long, right? I think we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary.
I feel like I've known you way long. I feel like I've known you for like 2 years now. But
It feels that way, but
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we've probably been like talking on and off for longer than that. We had our talking phase, and now we're, you know, now we're a situationship. We fully graduated. But just based on what I know about you, you want to be number one, presumably.
Oh yeah.
So, first of all,
We will be number one.
Yes, 100%.
I don't mean to wag my finger at you, but
Do you have any sense for, and it's okay if you can't share this, like that makes sense, but like, do you know what number one is making roughly on a monthly basis?
it's a best guess. I've heard different numbers. I'm guessing somewhere from 20 up 25 mil
A month? Yeah, okay. But I mean, that seems about right. Like, just the power laws, that seems like it would mathematically make sense. What's the game plan for bridging that gap?
Well, how much do I want to say?
Yeah, I guess you don't want to be alerting the competition. It's okay if you don't want to. I mean, it may be just like a rough.
We just intend to do a really, really good job on every aspect of the business. And we tend to be extremely like, the quality needs to be there. The customer service needs to be there at an extremely high level. We're very sophisticated in the systems in the back end. We really don't miss a thing. I mean, everything is logged from, you know, a chatter sale to a chatter missing a shift to somebody farting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it really does get that detailed.
Yeah.
And then from a creator standpoint, it really is like, I think what we've developed is, I mean, there's a huge inherent need for it. Obviously, we still have competition. We still have people that, you know, choose to go separate ways, and we're not going to be able to sway them on that. But I don't intend to build my business on the back of like talking shit about other businesses.
Sure.
I could, you know, but that's not my goal here.
Yeah.
I intend to build my business on the back of just building the best product and service that I can.
Yeah.
And then from I mean, this industry kind of works like, you know, at one point I was the hot girl on the block, then it was somebody else.
Yeah.
And now I just need to go get a boob job, and
You're a little bit ran through, but with the right touch.
Yeah, but you know how exactly. I just need to get some lip filler in, and and I'll be the hottest bitch on the block again, you know?
Yeah, well, you're in the right place for getting that sort of work done.
For sure.
So, okay, that makes sense. I think that's probably a pretty solid game plan insofar as what you're able to share. Now I kind of want to talk about the economics of the business, because obviously you're not $10 million is not going into your pocket. I'm sure it would be nice if it was, but that's not the case, I presume.
No.
So what do you generally charge for chatting? What are your margins roughly? And how do those types of deals get structured where you're chatting for another agency? Like, what does that conversation look like? Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Again, I want to be careful what I say here as well, because it ranges nowadays, depending on what you get and how big you are. But I will tell the audience that natively you can make an operation like mine work for like as low as like 15-ish%, right? That's like the baseline.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will charge more. In fact, I usually charge more just because I believe in the product that much more.
Sure.
And not because I'm making a large margin even. It's because I can pull out all the stops and like give you everything.
And we'll talk, because there is it's not just chatting in a lot of cases. You are also providing marketing for some creators.
Right.
So there's additional expense that's associated
I'm
with
just
that.
talking about the chat game right now.
Got it. Okay.
In terms of the marketing, that's a full stack solution, which I
Right.
only sell as a bundle.
Got it.
So if we're working together, if I'm managing, if we both are managing a creator, then we would offer them the full stack offer.
Got it.
And then, see what we can take away if they don't want it from there.
Got it.
But you do get, your if you are a creator with us, your back end is going to be powered by Chatstars.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm essentially outsourcing my own company in that. And the margins aren't what people think they are. I think, again, like I said earlier, you can run this very lean and probably make I know some companies that are in the chat game making 40 to 50% margins on it.
Wow.
I'm not nearly there.
Yeah.
It's not even remotely close to that. It's comparable to an e-commerce business, maybe a slightly more profitable one. There's e-com businesses that are doing 7% or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that weak. It's healthy. And it does range from client to client, creator to creator. I want to be very specific in what I'm saying here, because that doesn't mean that I just look at your face and I say, I could probably rob you of more money. It really is
You don't say that to your customers? That's crazy. My customers like it when I bully them a little bit.
No, I tend to look at it in terms of value and time, right?
Sure.
If you want more of my time, more of my better chatters, more of my value, and pull out all the stops, bring out AK-47s and go full spray and pray.
Yeah.
Right. Then I'm gonna charge you more, especially if you come from a position of a little bit less power. Right?
Sure.
If you're bringing in if you're bringing in $2-3 million worth of creators, you commit to them, you say, I'm gonna stick with you for a year. I'll try to have this type of clients with you, even though the industry doesn't really work like that, right? But if that is the offer, if that's the relationship, and if we believe in our partners to that extent, then we'll be more flexible.
Got it.
But yeah, I do want, specifically, I want models to recognize that, because I think that when they get charged upwards of when they get charged closer to 30, 40, 50% or whatever,
sure,
some of them are yeah, okay. Others are well, what's this for? And then other time, it's such a hard topic. Basically, you should question what you're being charged for. Right?
You're saying this to creators?
I'm saying this to creators.
Yeah.
You should question,
or you should at least know what you're getting out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. There needs to be some deliverables on where this money is going.
Yeah.
I operate a business here, right? I'm sure other people are operating this business in a similar way.
Yeah.
But you need to understand okay, well, I'm looking at the service. They're charging me a minimal percentage. How much are they actually earning? And off of what they're earning, what's actually going directly back into me?
Right.
The chatting in specific is such a finicky game, because There's other people involved. There's like, I mean, I would love to offer bonuses like every single month.
Right.
You know, that is so huge for sales teams. It doesn't happen every single month because obviously our margins aren't there.
Yeah.
You know? And then, yeah, the economics of, I mean, they're great. Like, I'm not complaining. I mean, we're doing very well.
Good.
You know? But it's almost, how much we're earning off of chat is almost a secondary thought in comparison to how good the service is.
Got it. And I mean, I would also imagine that, like, as a consequence of that, that a majority of that, like, a majority of your expense is staff, I would assume.
For sure, yeah.
What are maybe some of the other, like, non-obvious costs for chatting?
So there's a CRM, which is actually extremely expensive now. They charge per account, and it scales based on how much the account is making.
Really?
So, yeah, so it can.
That's kind of grimy. I don't like that at all. Inflow does that now?
Yeah.
Low key, fuck you, Inflow. That's a dick move.
I mean, I think they were charging. I think the max they were charging was like $250, and they upped it to $500. They literally doubled their prices, and we have a ton of pages that fit in that range.
Is it that much better than every other CRM to justify the cost, or is it just what people are used to now?
A little bit of both. You know, I don't want to give them too much credit because I've had my issues with them as a CRM. CRM, for anybody that doesn't know, is just kind of the software that we use to house all of the pages and then put our chatters in to track sales and then run the pages, right? And they also have good automations of, like, you know, send out this message at this time, or when a new fan comes in, do this or whatever, like things that used to be manually done are now completely automatic.
Yeah.
So they do make marginal increases in how much the page is performing.
For sure, yeah.
We're very good at utilizing all of those components, so we tend to max the most out of it, I think. People that don't know how to use that CRM as well as they could, they're just using it as like basically a monitor, you know?
Yeah, like a customer portal or something like
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
And so, the iffy thing about that is, you know, it does scale like pretty significantly. So that is a very significant cost in our business.
Got it.
And we do need it to a degree. And in terms of the one that we're using, is it that much better? I mean, there's one other one that's like also pretty good that I would probably switch over to if the people there weren't such like absolute scumbags. So it's kind of one of those like pick your poison type things.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
And to anybody that's going to ask like the question of go build your own, why don't you go build your own? Listen.
Some agencies do. But the thing,
Good luck.
I think, the thing that I think happens with that is that here's what I've seen personally, is an agency will build a CRM internally and they'll be like, yo, this is so good for our organization. And they try to sell it as a product to other agencies. And it's just like, if you have to justify, like if it's so costly to build your own internal CRM that you have to justify it by selling it as a product, you probably should just be using another CRM.
Right.
It's very rare that an agency should actually try to do that.
I mean, look, I would be way happier handing this money over every single month if I was treated like the princess that I am.
You are a beautiful little princess.
Tell me about it.
Underneath that.
You know? So yeah, I mean, I feel like I command a lot of voice in that company, and you know, some of the people that work there are just a little complacent in some of the things that I say. And I would reckon I'm an expert in this field, you know? So that is probably the thing that bothers me the most. And then the price gouging thing is, you know, but I feel like this is like way too industry knowledge for most people.
Sure, yeah.
Bored.
And
anyway, costs with the business, the CRM is a huge one. You kind of need it. You just like suck it up, right?
Yeah.
And then we have another CRM that we track everything on. We use monday.com. There's better ones out there. We are in the process of building our own for internal use.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that it's pristine because our entire system runs off of Monday. And so if we, like, I went down the rabbit hole with building Claude systems and dashboards and all this stuff. and it was just like buggy, constantly breaking. Like I'm not an expert in it, right? So I thought like, okay, let's continue using this until the time where it becomes almost detrimental to use it. We're starting to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
And so I do think a custom solution is always best. Something that really fits and visually is appealing to you, works for all your creators, houses the entire unit in one, cohesive, whatever thing.
Sure.
Great word. And
I think that's the scientific term.
right.
Yeah.
And so, but again, it's all about time and effort, right? Like I'm not building full stack dev products here. This isn't a startup where we can go and get millions of dollars of
Yeah, you can't fundraise in OFM.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we are in it to make money, right? Like,
Well, you have to be. You can't sell the company really. So it's just like you have to be cash flow positive. Otherwise, there's literally no fucking.
Does it make sense for me to go build something for $50K right now, or should I just put that in like an index?
Yeah,
I think the choice is like a little obvious. So
we
try to run those things as sophisticated as a lot of those things are. And I think we do have one of the best systems out there. I mean, it's a Monday, right? Like to a general business owner,
people are familiar with Monday, but it's not the default solution for businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But for our business, it works really well. And then, so that's on the chatting side. Do you want me to talk about the marketing side, or should we save that?
We can save that for later, for sure. Given your margins, I would imagine that there's got to be some sort of like minimum threshold for you to consider taking on a creator agency. Yeah. Like otherwise the money just doesn't make sense. Yeah. So what is like the minimum size client that you'll like, how much monthly revenue does a model have to be making net before you will consider taking them on as a client?
Yeah, I mean, luckily there's multiple entities that can do different things well that I own. So we try not to turn like, I mean, it's very discouraging to say to somebody like, oh, you're only making $5K a month, like a week, and so you don't get what we've figured out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a dig. It's just like a reality of the business is just like I'm sure you would love to help those people. And like some of those creators probably have a lot of potential that's being unrealized on the chat side, but you can't afford to figure that out for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our ideal page size is, so I want to say anything above 60K, I'm like pulling everything out for you.
You're excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Anything under that is somewhat of like, okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Meaning like I'll take the client and we'll put a really good team on her. But unless you kind of do the rest of the work and like make sure that this page grows, that I don't want to say we're not going to provide a good quality of service.
Sure.
I'm not going to look at it personally.
Right.
Like if you want my personal expertise on a specific page and you want to bounce ideas off me, that's my threshold.
60K is the threshold.
And then like the bare minimum that we'll take a creator on for is 20K.
Got it. Okay.
There are other sizes or whatever where it's like, okay, well, this guy brought a 100K girl and then like a 30K girl and then like a 15K girl, and now he wants his starter pack 5K girl to be on as well. It's like, okay,
we'll tack that on for you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's rare nowadays. Like, we really are aiming for the top 1% clients at this stage.
Makes sense. And what is top 1% right now? Because it's different than when I was actively managing, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, top 1% is, I think, around 60K and above.
Oh, wow. Really? It's that high?
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, because top 0.01 started at 250K when I was still managing, I believe. Or it was like maybe like 230.
Still around there.
Okay, but maybe there's just maybe 1% is just better. Maybe people are just making more money.
More pages making that kind of money.
It's probably concentrating at the top too. It's probably I think a lot of the smaller models are just getting washed out now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. That's a huge shift. When I was actively managing, 1% was 20K.
No, I believe it's a lot higher now.
That's
Are you talking about like 1.7 top 1%?
No. I'm talking about like top 1% was like 20, 30K.
I might be wrong. I might get fraud checked on this.
Fraud check. Hey, yo, fake dash. He's a fucking LARPer. We got so much of that on I don't know if you watched the Jimmy Gennaro interview.
Yeah.
He was awesome. I really enjoyed talking to him. But like there was this one fucking guy who was in the comments and in the Telegram group that was just like, fake dash, he's a scammer, LARPer. And it's like on the episode, he literally is like, yeah, like I'm not like fake. I'm not. He's not doing like fake dash stuff. He's not like scamming anybody. But it's just like he's like, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I'm a fucking LARPer. Like I LARP. That's the guru like info product thing that you have to do, but to fucking make a living doing it.
I'll send you a screenshot of our leaderboard that you can probably include in this video.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I've seen all like we're having this conversation. I've seen your dashboards, like but yes, well, for the viewers who are perhaps
Well, how can
skeptical,
you fake this view, right? I mean, positive.
it's
Can't
just,
afford a mask like this unless you're
no,
rated up.
they're low key kind of expensive, and I have like 6 of them. That's honestly my biggest fuck a Rolex. I just have 6 of these fucking stupid ass masks that I can't tell anybody that I actually own or wear in public.
A girl comes in your house, it's going good, 3 weeks in, opens
Why
the
do you have all
closet,
these fucking
over,
mannequin
what
heads
the
everywhere?
fuck is this?
They're literally, I keep them on little fucking like mannequin heads too. So I literally, my office is just like 6 mannequin heads with masks staring at me. I think, yeah.
I'm curious if you have a subset of your audience that just listens to these or just watches these on mute and just like
It just watches me bob my head.
something, yeah, just something.
Maybe I need to do probably an ASMR channel.
You should open like an OnlyFans page. I bet I could do really, really well.
I would probably crush it on OnlyFans.
Faceless
With
Francis.
Just the whole mask, and then I could just be like mask off customs, $1,000 a second.
I'll put a Slavon on your page. He's a nasty chatter. And
Hell yeah. Okay.
Kill it on
All right, deal. If you're gonna be doing my chatting, I will start an OnlyFans. You heard it here first. Okay. So, do you do any marketing for your creators? Because that was something that we mentioned as like a potentially unexpected cost. I'm having one. So yeah, do you do any marketing or is it pure chatting?
So we do marketing now, yeah. But so I have my own subset of an agency.
Yep.
Something that I would hope, they're announcing it here, which I'll let you do. My spiel.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
But I want to preface the whole do I do marketing thing with my direct experience on this because it's a little bit personal. After working with like a ton of the bigger agencies, I realized that it just on a large scale basis, it just doesn't exist, right? It's not there. In fact, I think a lot of people at this stage are heavily, like the way they're approaching this business from a sense of gaining clients is let's race to the bottom, price gouge to where we can pay the chat team. That person earns a little bit of money. And then we sort of keep whatever we can get on the front end.
Yeah.
Right. And the way that a lot of these pitches that I'm hearing are going now is we have lost some clients to this is like, well, your chat team, we've done an audit, which is just my favorite shit in the world, which is like, fucking wow.
Yeah.
An audit?
Wow.
You read messages, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we've done an audit and we've realized that you are, you're building too much personal connections. You're going to get sued as a creator. You're going to get, give me to restart this because you turned that off.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
We're gonna part of the shtick is gonna be like eventually we just get into it's just like pitch black in here basically. I'm gonna turn on like night vision on the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anyway, a lot of the pitch that's happening nowadays, and I've heard it from multiple different creators, and some have been poached using this, is like you're gonna get sued. Your fans are gonna fall in love with you and show up at your house. You know, your manager is getting sued.
Jesus.
Which like no proof of that.
Yeah.
Literally, you know my real name. You could look it up.
Yeah,
It doesn't
sure.
exist. Also, I don't have bad relationships in the business. People in the comment section, if anybody even knows me at this stage or has spoken to me, there's not going to be, the word scammer does not fall into my name.
No. Never, yeah.
And so
Yeah, I've literally never heard anybody's and like usually there's anyone who's well known in this industry, like someone's got at least some shit to say about them. Not like a scammer thing, but like I've never even heard anything negative about like your like just people seem to generally regard you highly.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That does mean a lot to me. And so then, yeah, so essentially kind of what's happening now, as it was happening back then, is, you know, the creators getting charged like whatever, like 20, 25, 30%. You know, they're being put on this like crazy ass chat by, you know, scaring the girl or offering, you know, race to the bottom type price gouging.
Yep.
and then these pages are kind of ran up. And because I know for a fact you can't do marketing for 25%, it's literally impossible.
Oh, there's no right. Oh, there's no shot.
You maybe can if you spend every single day with her and you're on your phone uploading all the content.
But you're talking about organic, and that's just like yeah.
But
like, but it's still I mean, like, if margins, maybe you're okay if you're the one that's doing all of the work, but like then you're doing all of the work.
It still doesn't make an
It doesn't. Yeah,
sense
no, not at all. Yeah.
And so this is what large scale agencies have been doing for a long time. So the general business model isn't how do we help you grow?
Yeah.
In fact, they kind of have a superpower now behind chat because they're running like way more aggressive, way more scammy strategies. Like, for example, selling sex tapes that don't exist, selling
like saying like, oh, this is like a boy girl sex tape thing, and then it's just like them.
No, it's not. They incentivize a script, like a full sale, like, hey, unlock all of these videos, and then you'll get the prize at the end, and the prize is like boy girl. She has never filmed a boy girl video in her life. So they bake that, they bake in real life sex, they bake Snapchat ad backs, phone number.
Oh, so they're scamming.
Scamming.
Yeah.
Scamming. And it is teetering on the gray line of the TOS. Is like, can you kind of do this? Can you not? You know?
Yeah.
And I do think OnlyFans is going to crack down on this. I'm not really.
I have to imagine. So. I mean, like, chargeback risk is just, that's huge.
Our chargebacks are 0.18%.
That's insane.
Yeah, dude.
That's insane. For this industry, that's fucking.
It's like zero.
That's actually like within the almost like within the normal bounds for like just a normal like e-com business or something like that. Like, that's great. Chargebacks in this industry, if you're not familiar, are like extremely common.
Right.
It's a huge, like I remember we never did anything even remotely scammy. And it was, our chargeback percentage was still in like, I think it was like 1 or 2%. And so just at the end of the month, like 1 or 2% of $310,000 is not a small amount of money.
Well, like I said, we send them flowers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
We're very incentivized, and everybody's trained in a way where, like, even if the guy knows what's going on this platform,
Yeah.
we're still going to take care of him.
Yeah.
And we're going to use the model to do it. Hey, can you send a voice audio? Hey, can you film this video?
So they're getting legitimate, like authentic interaction. It's not just like 11 Labs type shit.
The things that we usually incentivize with are real.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting their bang for their buck. You know?
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
For the most part, the way the service is being ran right now, I mean, I would call it the most legit it's ever been.
Yeah.
You know? From a sales perspective, there was a lot of that parasocial stuff going on back then. It's still a little bit going on nowadays. Either way, whatever. I'm kind of ranting. My point is, you know, some of these agencies are heavily reliant on scammier chat strategies to boost sales initially. They're looking at a girl staying in their agency in the same way that they're looking at a fan staying on the page. Well, she's going to leave in 3 months anyway.
Got it.
So
oh, wow. That's crazy. They're just not even thinking about retention at all.
I wasn't going to talk shit, but now you got me all riled up. Now I'm fucking pissed off.
Yes, do it for the people. For the people.
So we take pages from a bunch of different competitors. And one of the biggest things with one or two of these big competitors is that they have company protocol.
Yeah.
Where if they know a girl is leaving, so the girl has been courteous enough to give them a 1 week heads up, for example. And so they know this is happening. Over the course of that 1 week, they will run up sales as crazy as they can by essentially lowering the prices to almost negligible, and then just pulling out all the stops into extracting as much money as possible. So by the time the next chat team comes on, now they're fighting against their grain. They're fighting with fans that don't have enough money to spend. They're fighting with fans who are now accustomed to a much lower price for content that's been selling for hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. So yeah, I mean, like, no one's playing a fair game here. And this is what I was saying earlier is like, I know I'm going to survive because I refuse to do shit like that, right? So the question was, to go back on it.
Do you do marketing?
Do you do marketing? So do I do marketing? Yes. And that was a large part because I saw how people were operating back then. I still see how people are operating right now, and I fucking hate it. All you people are losers. Like, do your stupid job, you know? And so I mean, I'm going to give all credit to my business partner. He's kind of the genius in this. I sort of copied his lead in a way. But essentially what we're doing is we're running a marketing system which directly reinvests money or percentages that the creator pays us back into their page through advertisements.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Just paid ads.
We have the basics of the business, like the content repurposing. We have other things that we're rolling out. We have help with other departments like OFTV and whatever. And like this can be like layered and expanded upon, which we have plans for the rest of this year to roll out different products at no additional cost to any model that we work with, that are only going to make the service more robust and more compact. I mean, we're tech nerds, right? Like we sit in front of our computers all day. We're not out here, partying.
Yeah, no Lambo. No thought yacht.
Yeah, so the business model isn't necessarily like, yes, we want to expand and get new creators, but it's not, the focus isn't there. The focus is, how do we make the business of the creator more successful? How do we make her make more money? Because if she does, again, like I said earlier, it works in tens. Like she comes, she's happy, she brings 10 girls.
Yep.
She's not happy, she leaves, she takes 10 girls with her. So we really want to make sure that these clients that we're onboarding, that the success rate of their success is significantly higher than the industry standard, right? And if the success measure is she makes more money, then that is our only metric.
Yep.
Okay. And then the way that we're going about it is essentially we are spending the money that they pay us. We're telling them exactly how much money we're spending, right? And then we're directly showing them the value that we brought specifically. Here's the tracking link. This is the amount of fans that came into your page. Compare it. Go into your page and look at, okay, this is the total amount of fans that the page has brought. This is the fans that they brought. Okay, maybe that's like 25-30% of my fans for the month.
Yeah.
And then they tack on the chatting, and they tack on this, and they tack on that, and it creates a full service, full stack thing. It also kind of builds upon each other, because why wouldn't this business work from a creator perspective just like any other business?
Right.
If you were to say, I don't know, if you were to sell dog toys or whatever, and you have a really good month, right? Like you have a video on social media go viral, and you make $100,000 in a month.
And then your dog dies, and they send you
Jesus.
a cute little gift basket.
No. But you have a great month. You make $100,000.
Sure.
Wouldn't it make sense to take a portion of that money and put it directly back into the business?
100%.
In fact, most businesses put all of it back into the
Right.
business.
Yeah.
Right. The economics here don't make as much sense for that, but the idea is your manager should be spending money on you.
Yes.
And then when they get big enough, then they can spend money on themselves and try to hire more and more talent with like additional sources of whatever.
Yeah.
Right. That's how the economics here makes sense, and that's how these accounts like actually grow.
Got it.
That's the gist of it, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
The transparency is number one. Tell the girl what you're doing. Show her where the fans are coming from. I mean, again, some of your audience is very catered to like organic growth.
100%.
And so it's hard to track the value in that necessarily. I mean, if she's making 0 and now she's making something.
Attribution is more difficult unless you're only doing organic, right?
Correct.
So like for me, it was like I was only doing organic. So it was like, well, I know that 100% of my leads are coming from this because that's the only way that the leads come.
Wouldn't we make great partners?
I would say so. I would say so. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So we'll get into that next. The last question that I kind of want to ask on this. You work with a lot of agencies. You work with a lot of creators. As, let's say, like an impartial third party, or like as an observer who kind of sees, you have a much like broader eye on the entire ecosystem because you're communicating with so many people in it. Most agencies are pretty siloed. So I think that you'd have insight on this. What are kind of the biggest or like most common mistakes that you see agencies and creators making at scale that are damaging their bottom line? Or maybe even just making your job harder?
Say the question to me one more time.
What are the biggest or most common mistakes that you see agencies and creators making that are damaging their bottom line?
Creators, well,
give me like one for each.
So from a creator standpoint, choosing who you're going to work with initially is probably as important of a decision as who you're going to marry, right? Because, you know, you're essentially setting a tone for what your career is going to evolve into. And then,
Because a good agency will literally make you a millionaire.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. So
Yeah. And so being very selective in that process and not getting swooped up in the bells and whistles of things,
Yeah.
asking the right questions, you know, making sure that, you know, you are working with the right people and they are taking care of you. Now, I might not be the right person for everybody, but I know I take care of most of the people that I work for.
yeah,
You know? And so that's a huge thing, because then inevitably what happens, especially if you're a hard worker and you pay attention, you put effort into your craft or whatever. If you notice certain things, or if friends of yours notice certain things and they tell you about it in the industry, then most of the times what happens is you start to go shopping around.
yep,
And there are those creators that are like perpetual rock skippers.
yeah,
Let me go to this agency. Let me go to this agency.
Yep.
Let me go to this agency. Now, sometimes you do have to cut it and say, okay, this isn't working out. It's time to go somewhere else.
yeah.
Right.
But you shouldn't be just like hopping around. You shouldn't be window shopping.
You're putting too much at risk.
Yeah.
You know, imagine I owned a company, a dog company.
And I fucking killed your dog.
It's just
I guess that
something
is kind of what's happening.
No, but imagine I owned a company. I filled an office with 100 people, and all of a sudden, I'm like, something's not going wrong here. Like something's not going right here. Everybody, get out of the office.
Yeah.
And then I go and just like, I don't know, I find another 100 people and I stick them in here and I try to run the business with them. Like what? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like it can be detrimental.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of creators really sort of put a ceiling on their capacity by A, choosing wrong, and then B, like by trying to fix the problem, they're not educated enough on where they should be going. Nobody's telling them the truth, Riz. It's not their fault. You
Yeah.
know? But then where they go after the fact and continuously switching and not giving enough time for the business to actually evolve and change over time. I mean, the ideal time frame of when you should start seeing some significant results is like, okay, make sure that what you're doing is, make sure you're on point. Because
Yep.
that's like you can't live without that factor.
Right.
Okay? So as soon as you have that, and this is from an agency perspective and from a creator perspective, as soon as you have that, then give it like 2 or 3 months to see true results. If there's no movement, then something's going wrong.
Right.
And that's
You
That's
shouldn't really
traditionally
ever
true.
be stagnant.
traditionally true in business in general,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. If you're seeing stagnation, it generally means that something is wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's from a creator standpoint. Also, pay your invoices. Just like a word of advice again, like do right by people.
Yeah.
Don't get money in your bank account and spend it. This goes for literally everybody watching. A lot of people, they'll invoice for $20,000. $20,000 will hit their bank account. They're like, I just made fucking $20,000.
And they'll spend that
I
shit.
said, bitch, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Like, you made 3. Relax, chill out.
Yeah.
You got shit to pay. You got
Yeah.
bills. Okay, so from an agency side, I mean, this is so. The thing that my mind immediately pings to is like overselling based on what you hope to achieve
Right.
as opposed to what you actually have.
Or what you've actually done.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you hear my pitch, I will be on the phone with some of the creators that will inevitably reach out due to this interview.
Yeah.
When you hear my pitch, I almost want you to start dozing off and falling asleep. Like,
'Cause it's
I'm
just
here
numbers.
to soothe you. I'm Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you right to sleep, right? And that it's literally just numbers. Like that's all I care about right now.
Yeah.
I'll
Which is
pull
like,
out-
ideally, you want to be working with somebody whose objective is to make you as much money as possible.
Well,
Like
we're
that's
6 years in.
Yeah.
That is enough time, but like the amount of knowledge I have over the 6 years, maybe it's taking me longer to learn it or whatever. But now I know how to fix it and I know how to pitch it and I know what to do with the information that I've gathered.
Right.
And I am doing it.
Yes.
and I'm not going to offer it to somebody unless I'm already doing it successfully.
Right.
And so yeah, from an agency side, like, you know, under promise, over deliver.
100%.
And then if I'm speaking to the big agencies, if there is any other bigger agencies out there, I would say I'm not here to preach at anybody, right? But you're fucking up so much in the industry by not having the basics of your business down. A lot of what some of you guys are doing is you're an invoicing company. You're literally invoicing clients, collecting money, and then outsourcing everything else. And your entire business model is just to collect as much names on a roster as possible. Which, like, okay, great. If you figure that out, whatever, cool, good for you. But like, you know that you're doing something wrong here. Like,
Yeah, you haven't built anything. You're an order taker.
Well, but at that point, you're already making money. So
Yeah.
just hire somebody.
Right.
Right? Like, hire somebody that can actually do it, and you can do it relatively inexpensively.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like somebody starting a this is going to be a terrible analogy because I'm a little bit brain dead, but starting a hammer company and
Not a dog company.
not a dog company
Nothing
this
but
time.
dogs?
No dogs this time. Well, you're not going to like what I use your hammer. No, but imagine that you have a company that manufactures hammers, and like the reality of the company is that like you pay somebody to make the head of the hammer, you pay somebody to make the handle, you pay somebody to assemble the whole thing. At some point, you're not a hammer company, you're a hammer sales company.
Right.
So yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's like I do think that like if you're an agency, the entire idea is that you have a unique value proposition for your client. Ideally, you're making them as much money as possible, and you're like learning how to do that in the process, not just acting as like a shell corporation for 3 other sub agencies or something.
Well, I hope my words do resonate with some people. Some people are going to be completely lost and be like, what the fuck is this guy
Fuck
talking
them.
about?
Who cares? I hate those guys. Fucking
That's
ignorant.
probably the large majority of your audience.
Yeah, well, you know what? Fuck them. I'll say it. Fuck them. So the reason that I'm in Miami in the first place was that originally we were going to work together on a chat course. Maybe that'll happen at some point in the future. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure if we did that, it would be a phenomenal product, and I'm sure it would help a ton of people. But after a few days of talking and kind of like working through some of the material that we would cover in the course and seeing how difficult it is to be legitimately great at chatting, if implementation is up to them and they're already struggling in multiple areas of the business and they're trying to invest all of their time in all of these other things, they're not going to have time to sit down for like a 5 or a 10-hour course and learn all of this stuff. Why not just do it for them? Like, we have these proven systems that have scaled individual creators to millions of dollars in revenue. So instead of telling people how to do it, why not partner directly with agencies and creators and help them fulfill that potential and scale in the best way possible, both on a margin basis and on like a general just creator satisfaction basis. So I'm going to let you kind of take it from here for a second so that I can breathe. But explain the offer that we've come up with for people who potentially would want to work with us.
Yeah. Well, my pitch to you is very simple because, you know, I always, I don't know. I mean, we've done about in total, easily probably 5 or 6 days worth of headway on this course thing. Some days were dedicated days where we actually like put in a decent amount of work.
No, we recorded a lot of it already before we had this realization.
And every time we would start to go down the road, the conversation would always kind of come up of like, who's actually going to do any of this shit? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And like...
Literally, dude, it was just like I was like, because I went into it thinking like, okay, this will be like, he's going to have everything like pretty systematized and it'll all be relatively intuitive. And you were like, here's like the 20 things that all of this stuff breaks down into that I would have in a training program. And that would be just for chatting, not even for like managing a chat organization.
Right.
So yeah, very quickly, I came to the realization of like, okay, this is like, you said, who's going to do this? Like, this is a fucking lot of work.
Don't get me wrong. If anybody wants to buy the info, I'll package it up real nice for you and let you, you know,
do it
drown in a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we were kind of bouncing other ideas around, but, you know, I kind of opened a little bit of my books and my doors to Francis, and I was sort of showing him how systematized we are on the back end, what marketing, like baseline marketing product we have, which is extremely functional. I was showing him the transparency aspect of it, the communication aspect of it. I mean, a huge component of the business is powered by Chatstars, which is like the bedrock. And then again, like I feel very confident in what I'm selling on both ends now, right? I feel like my offer is extremely well put together, very systematized. It works like a well-oiled machine, end to end, realistically.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't the genius that came up with it, but I'm certainly going to use it, you know? And I think for the ultimate goal of getting Chatstars to number one, you know, it's time to open it up to the public. So my idea, and the one thing that is sort of missing in my system, even though if you just have it on a base level, it works for nearly every creator. The one thing that's missing is a true organic mastermind like yourself. Someone who
You're too kind.
can really also bring additional components into the business, which I was sort of explaining earlier about the whole Monday thing.
Yeah.
In building like a very intuitive, pretty clean dashboard.
Yeah.
You know, that's also your forte. If anybody has been on your YouTube channel or in the networking groups that you're in or has bought your product, they know that it's some of the highest quality out there. And if somebody's used me on chatting, usually they say the same thing about me, right?
Yeah.
And so I know your eye for attention to detail, and I know your talent in building talent, you know, essentially from nothing. Or even if they are something, you can take a look at that person and say, well, if you tweak this, and this. I mean, I heard you on a conversation earlier telling a girl how a necklace would make a significant difference, like a recurring necklace.
Like a motif or like a visual,
Yeah.
so to enhance recognizability. And
Right.
Of course, yeah.
And so that's something that I don't have the energy or the time to do. But B, I consider it to be an extremely valuable component of what an OnlyFans agency actually is, you know? I mean, what the actual, like the core of the service actually is, right? And I think with those three components, so covering organic, having complete transparency, actually spending money directly into, you know, advertisements and guaranteeing fans, essentially, right? You can't guarantee cost per click and all that, but you can guarantee that you're going to put money back into the business and fans on the account.
And the model's going to make more money as a consequence of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could prove that, right?
Yes.
And then you have the you know, blasted chatting on the back end that's supporting everything and sustaining the entire operation, so nobody should experience this crazy fluctuation.
Right.
I could pull up any of my pages right now.
No, it's insane how it's like consistent growth month to month, almost across the board for almost all of your.
It literally
it's insane.
It literally looks like a hill slope. And
Yes.
Even my agency dashboard. Most agency dashboards are kind of like massive zigzags.
Yeah, it'll be like lots of peaks and valleys and then like a weird plateau for a while, but it's I've never ever looked at, for any of my consulting clients, for even my own pages, like when I loved my chat agency, we weren't working together at that time, but I was like always very impressed with their results. And even then it was like peaks and valleys, plateau, peaks and valleys, plateau. Your charts are literally just like up and to the right. It's not like straight up and to the right or anything, but it's like if you're seeing compounding like 2% month over month growth, and you're doing better than that on average by a pretty substantial margin. But even that, within like 3 months, you're making 12 to 13% more money because it's compounding. So it's just like those are big at the scale that you're operating at. 10%, and a 10% increase in your business is another $10 million a year.
Yep.
Like it's not trivial at all.
That's the gist of it. I feel, I mean, without overselling it or anything, I feel extremely confident in what we're going to put together here.
100%.
We're going to use sort of my foundation and everything I have going as a bedrock. The service is already there. It exists. We know we can scale it. We back tested it. And then you're going to come in as an expert level organic mastermind. And obviously your YouTube channel reaches a huge audience, which I think will allow us to help people, like actually help people.
100%.
And B, you know, selfishly get Chatstar's number one.
That's the, I mean, yeah, that's
Right.
this is my way of like, how can I contribute to that project? And I think this is, for me personally, my consulting is my favorite part of the business. And so what sucks is that most people can't afford my consulting service. Like that's just the way it is. And I can't really afford to make it any cheaper because I put so much into it. Like realistically, I can only do, if I were doing it like 100, you know, like really jamming on my calendar, I could still probably only do 10 of these calls a month. The way that I have it set up. And so this is like a way that I get to exercise, but I love being able to exercise my creative instincts and work on a brand. Like I think brand is like a really fun puzzle to solve. I enjoy like working with the creators in that initial call because every time I talk to somebody, my pitch is basically like to any creator, I can make you a millionaire doing the thing you love doing most in the world. What better offer is there than that, right?
Right.
And so obviously it requires a special kind of creator. It requires somebody who has talent and charisma and like a look and like interests and is interesting. Not every person can make it to, like not every person can make $1 million on OnlyFans. Sorry, creators. But what I'm hoping for is that we kind of like launch this product and we onboard a few people and we find some really unique kind of untapped talent in this ecosystem because I know it's out there, right? I know that there are way more $1 million creators out there, but no other agency has the like relentless focus on organic that I have and like the level of like content quality that goes into great creative. That's what I want to bring to the table. I feel like there's like an art and a craft that's missing to this industry. And it's not just like aesthetics. It's not just like this looks better or like whatever, you know, it's like the quality of the content has a direct contribution to your bottom line. The two things are not separable. And that's like now we're basically building out a thing so I can prove out that thesis at scale. And we can really show people like, hey, this is the direction that the industry needs to move towards is invest in creators, put a lot of effort into them. The ones that are like the most talented and capable of reaching the top, like you said, treat people well, do a lot for them, take them from 0 to hero, and you develop some great professional relationships as a consequence of that. I think that you and I have probably one of the best professional networks in the business, like in terms of people that we have access to, the people that we're having conversations with on a day-to-day basis, creators to collaborate with. So I think that this is going to be a really incredible system that we're going to build.
I want to speak briefly to creators and agencies separately.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, those are going to be different offers.
I do want to tell creators like this is fairly available like as of right now.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to be probably a little bit limited on the types of people that we can take on or the amount of people, not types.
No, but I mean, we're not going to be, yeah, I think
you're a little short. I don't like you.
No, definitely not. For sure.
No, but so to creators, the offer is pretty succinct. Work with both of us. I think you're not getting two pawns on a chessboard here. You're literally getting the king and queen, right?
Am I the queen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm cool with it. Stop.
But so that's there for people that own agencies in particular. I think this is one of the most goated offers that I think some other people are doing out there, and they claim to have this or that or the other.
I think it's more of like a referral service, which is not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like we don't want you to refer us creators. We basically like want to augment all of your capabilities and give you like all of the knowledge that we have on like almost a one-to-one like intimate consulting basis. So it's like we're partners in your business or something like that.
Exactly.
Not legal partners, but like we're not coming into your agency and saying like, hey, you guys are dog shit, give us your models. We're saying like the models that you have that you believe are worth investing in, give them this back-end system. And we'll structure these deals in a way that it is extraordinarily profitable for both of us.
I think the best thing about systems is, I mean, yes, systems can be automated and they can run almost with no human.
Sure.
Right.
It's our touch is it's the real.
It's our
that's
employees
the offer.
that are running it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you literally get access to those people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most powerful thing. I don't want this interview to seem like a long convoluted ad.
No, we're pitching. This is a pitch. This is a pitch. You guys are watching it. You guys are watching a 2-hour sales pitch right now. this is like you just spent the last 2 hours of your life watching an infomercial. I hope you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, for me, I would not be going public with this at all. I mean, I'm already a fairly private person as it is. I wouldn't be going on and yapping about nothing unless I knew I had something.
Yeah.
So here I am telling the Faceless Francis world and whoever else is watching this video, I think between the both of us, we have one of the most robust, flexible offers, also with like an extreme value add, something that is actually going to get done for your models. And then you get to utilize like legitimately 6 years, a combined, I don't know.
10. It's a decade. It's a decade of OFM experience.
A decade of OFM.
And it's like a decade of perfectly complementary OFM experience, because you have the paid ads, you have the systems, the structures, the employees, the massive organization. But like, you're the sales end of the company, I'm the marketing end of the company. Those two things exist in perfect harmony. And like, if you and I are also, I think, pretty good at articulating ourselves and being able to lend that to any creator or any organization in a way that is, it's just obvious to me that that's going to be tremendously beneficial for all parties involved.
For sure. Help us get to number one, baby.
Number one. So we have the best chat in the business. We make the best content in the business. We have the best organic and paid marketing in the business. We have the best, again, probably like the community professional network. I think we're very high up in there just in terms of like the people that we talk to every day on a daily basis. We're working with some of the biggest people in the industry. So if you are an OnlyFans creator or even like an influencer that wants to make great social media content and make potentially millions of dollars doing the thing that you love most in the world, we would love to work with you. We're going to do that pilot program, as Chatstar alluded to. We're only going to be taking on 3, maybe 5 creators, depending on the quality of, and again, like if we end up not working with you, it's not because you're a terrible creator or something. We just have to be really, really selective for this first round, because we really want to prove this product out and make sure that we're able to deliver the value that we think we are. If you are interested in being a part of that pilot program, you can apply at facelessfrancis.com/partners. The link will be in the description. And again, for agencies, in the future, we're going to offer a very similar service. We're not quite there yet because there's just the deal structure is going to be a little bit different. It's a little bit more complicated when you factor in things like what is your rev share agreement with your creators. We're going to have to tinker with numbers to make sure that it's profitable on both sides. But basically, we would work directly with you and your model or models. We would take over chatting. We would take over paid ads. We would build you a custom marketing strategy for every single one of those creators. Access to my organic social course, my training program, which is currently selling for $3,000. So you just get that bundled in for free. And we just take a percentage of the model's revenue based on that bucket of services. So if that's something that potentially would interest you in the future when we do release it, exact same link, go to facelessfrancis.com/partners, select agency in the application dropdown and join the wait list. And as soon as we launch, you will be the first to know. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I haven't been as excited about something.
I'm pumped.
In a very, very long time. I think
this is going to be something special for sure.
Genuinely the best part about this is I felt great about my offer and what we had figured out with on the marketing component and how we were pitching it to models and the fact that we were spending the money and it was bringing fans and every page was growing exponentially, especially because the more the page makes, the more money we put back into it.
Yep.
I also basically live in chat, right? So I feel extremely confident about my staff right now and the strategies that we're doing. And then you sort of popping in somewhat organically into this situation.
Apropos.
Yeah. And like bringing in the one missing component that I knew I didn't have the energy or maybe even not necessarily the skill set unless I learned it from the ground up.
Well, I'm as dedicated to it as you are to chatting. Is what it boils down to. So
Right.
It's like you can't be that good at 2 things.
Yeah. And I think that, if you are going to have 2 people work for you, you want it to be 2 people who are excited to work for you.
100%.
And this excites both of us. I don't know. We want to build the next $2 million girl. That's my mission statement. And then of course we're getting a fucking number 1, baby. There ain't no stopping chance.
It's like a perfect synergy because it's like that's the challenge for me. It's just like I like making millionaires. There's just something that's really satisfying about like okay,
It's
together,
cool, right?
in tandem with this person, like we built $1 million out of like entertainment. Like we made content that was so good that people spent over $1 million on it. That level of like knowing that you can do that rules, and I want to do that for as many people as I possibly can. So yeah, I'm hype.
I do want to touch on this. This is an interesting point you brought up. Maybe we can close on this.
Sure, yeah.
I have had a tremendous effect on this industry. I've worked on, hundreds of pages.
Yeah.
I've worked on some of the biggest creators' pages. They don't even know it, Their companies have probably hired me out at some point in the past or whatever.
And not told them and like pretended that they were just.
I just never, but I've been.
Oh, sure.
And they don't need to know who I am, right? Like just the guy that runs the chatting. Like she doesn't need to meet me.
Yeah.
But but the cool thing is whether I'm working for an agency and I help a creator raise her numbers up with my service, or I'm working for a creator directly. One of the coolest parts of my job, which is there's not much gratitude there, but it's really seeing how many people's lives have genuinely changed as a result of what we do. Now, you're going to look at this interview and there's probably going to be some people in the comments that are like, why the fuck you wearing a BDSM costume now?
You're such a good guy, yeah.
Mixed with a weirdo. My personal goals and aspirations have nothing to do with me. This is the part of my job that I feel absolutely no fucking shame for. Mm-hmm. If that's the end result of what I get to do, and then on top of that, I get to feed literally hundreds, if not thousands of people and change those people's lives to then changing the models' lives. And in turn, I get to change my own life and everybody around me. I don't want them to have to eat shit as a result of what I do. Yeah. It's not on them. But they're gonna be on a motherfucking boat someday,
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And so is everybody. I mean, not everybody. I don't want to pitch it that way, but
you're so much better of a guy than I am. That's just like not my motivation at all. But like that's it. The fact that you genuinely mean that is awesome.
I do mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's more like did you ever watch the House MD, the doctor show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he hates people, but he's like autistically obsessed with saving their lives. That's what it is for me. It's just like I really just would rather live in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. But like of the things that I get satisfaction out of, solving the puzzle of brand and like creating a cohesive brand for somebody that people really enjoy watching and that like consequently makes them lots and lots of money. It's like solving the rare disease for me. Does that make sense?
Like sarcoidosis. No, was
just some random. I don't know, some random.
Yeah, that's in the show. What word did you use the other day for a bush?
A topiary. Okay, here's where we're fucking in this fucking podcast. If you know what the word topiary means, please write it in the comments.
Well, I just said what it is.
No, it's not. It's not what he said that it is. It's literally not that, but he just refuses to believe that there was a specific word for what a topiary is. So if you know what a topiary, I think it's a normal. He's acting like I'm a pretentious asshole for knowing the word topiary, and so really what I want to figure out is like
disconjointed with a model the other.
That's not even a word. I said disjointed.
Or I don't know. God knows.
Disconjointed.
What word was it they used with her?
I don't know. Probably disjointed. I have no idea.
It was another.
I don't keep track of the words that I use.
I don't know. You're opening up dictionaries with people that don't speak this language. You need to.
I gotta tone it down.
You need to make.
But the thing is, my audience are all like 10,000 IQ, like supermen. So I have to talk that way, or they'll think less.
Well,
and they're all very handsome and jacked and rich.
We'll put up with how you talk if you autistically want to make everybody rich.
That's really all it is. That's beautiful. Perfect. I'm glad that's the conclusion that we arrived at.
Thank you for having me, by the way. It's been a pleasure.
Always, man. Thank you for hosting me. And thank you all, everyone who's watching, for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future conversations. Check out the links in the description for the free resources on my website. And if you want to work with us, check out facelessfrancis.com/partners. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.